Welcome to Standout Radio. I'm your host, Leanne Mulcahy. Women are rediscovering what it means to live life on their terms. Each week, join me for inspirational stories from women around the world who share what it means for them to live life on their terms. Jane Curnow was clinically depressed, addicted to drugs and alcohol, suffering from a lifetime of eating disorders, and she had attempted to end her life twice. One of the things that contributed to her depression was the pressure she felt as a woman to be what society and her family and friends expected her to be. She believes that women particularly feel pressured to perform and be a certain way, and in doing so, we hide our true selves. That was until her mid-40s, when vanity turned her life around and she started bodybuilding. It was there that she set her sights on becoming a fitness model. After all, they had the perfect body, and Jane believed if she had the perfect body, she would be happy. She celebrated her 50th birthday in 2016 on stage, declaring that she had recovered from depression, and she realized that she had never felt so happy in her life. She says her motivation was all wrong, but the outcome was life-changing, and what drove her to write her book, Finding Myself from the Outside In. Now at the age of 51, she says she feels like she is starting life over. She's a fitness mindset and lifestyle coach, bodybuilder, fitness model, and writer who is passionate about inspiring, supporting, and motivating others. Jane says it's been a tough road, but it is totally possible to change. Take a listen. Jane, welcome to Standout Radio. It is my absolute pleasure to have you on the show today. Whereabouts are you calling in from?
Thank you so much, Leanne. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, lovely. How's the weather over there at the moment? Not too hot?
No, it's actually quite nice today. I've been able to sleep the last couple of nights, so it hasn't been too hot.
Yeah, you guys have had a bit of hot weather over there, haven't you? I know it's summer, but hotter than usual.
Yes, a little bit, but that's okay. There's nothing you can do about the weather.
Just stay cool, AJ.
Yeah.
I am so excited to have Jane on Standout Radio today because she has done something I think that she's changed her life completely. And it's something that we all struggle with at some point in our lives, I believe, as women particularly. I can't speak for men, but I'm sure there's some men out there that do experience this. But Jane, can you tell us a little bit about your story? 25 years of depression and eating disorders.
Yes.
Starting there.
Yeah, so majority of my adult life, I have been in and out of therapy. I was clinically diagnosed with depression at the age of 32, and that was a steady decline after that label was given to me. The eating disorders have been going on all my life, anorexic through my 20s. I've had 2 attempts on my life. I've had 3 hospital visits in psychiatric wards. I've been to some pretty dark places. And it wasn't until my mid-40s that I managed to turn it around. But the ironic part of my journey is that I turned it around by accident, which makes my journey even more special to me, that it wasn't something I was driven to do other than through vanity and my low self-worth. So, yeah, very, very interesting life that I've had. I've got lots of stories, but I tell you, I feel like I've been reborn. I really feel like my life is starting over again at the age of 51 now.
51. Yeah. So we're going to put pictures below so people can see, because they will just, it will knock their socks off, for one. But 2, I think that what you're proving is that age is no barrier.
Absolutely. That's one of my taglines, age is no barrier to your dreams. And I think that I didn't believe that. I was very conditioned, like most women are, that you do life in a certain order. And my depression, many factors to the reasons of my depression, but one of them was the pressure I felt as a woman to be what society, parents, friends expect you to be. You know, by 30 you're supposed to have met the man, and then you get the house, and you get married, and then you have children, and by 40 all your ducks are in a row. But what happens if it doesn't work out that way for you? And my depression was at its worst, and the most serious attempt on my life was around 40, because I felt like I wasn't doing life according to plan. And if you don't, what happens? So that's the core of my depression, the pressure. And I think a lot of women feel that we need to conform to a certain way of being, and we hide our true selves as a result. And you just can't live life like that. It's just not life. But how many of us get caught up in that?
Oh, I know. And one of the things that I loved to read when I was reading about you is that you said you became a master at hiding the real Jane and functioning at a level that was socially acceptable.
Yes. I think a lot of us women deserve Academy Awards. We really put on a show because we lose touch with who we really are as a result, because we're always acting. And it's really sad that we don't feel comfortable to be ourselves. And that's probably the core of my message now, is that you've got to be yourself. And if somebody doesn't like it, bad luck. You know, you've just got to be true to yourself, and that's the key to happiness. Really.
Do you think that part of this is an age thing, Jane, where we do get to a particular age and we become less caring about what other people think?
Oh, look, I think maturity and wisdom with age absolutely is part of it for women. And I guess that when I'm looking at, you know, how much I want to help women, it's generally the younger ones, because I think we get caught up when we're younger, particularly now with the added pressure of social media. I think the women through the 20s and 30s, that we're so bombarded by these images of perfect women, and it's such a subtle influence we don't even realise that it's happening. So yes, I do think age has a lot to do with it, although with me, I didn't think I was going to be alive for my 50th. So I don't think I would have got to that wise space if it hadn't been for bodybuilding.
That's incredible. It's incredible that you're here.
Yes.
Isn't it?
It is. And I can't believe I nearly missed the best bit of my life.
Yeah. I don't even know how that could have been for you, being in that space where you felt that there wasn't anything more.
It overwhelms me at times when I try and think back to my mindset on that day where I tried to exit. I just don't know who that person is anymore. Like, it's just so foreign to me and what's so amazing to me is that that was me, and 10 years on, I'm a completely different person. So you can change. You really can. I think a lot of us, again, we're conditioned that it's too hard to change, but we can change. We just got to put the effort in, though, because it's not easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been a tough road, but I found my passion in life, and I think that to me is key for a lot of us women. We don't know what our passion is for so long, and some of us never do, but once you find that spark within you, you find the strength.
So Jane, tell us a little bit more about that. How did you even begin to think about bodybuilding? I mean, when you're in a state of severe depression, wanting to take your own life, how could you even imagine moving to the next step and thinking that you're going to be on a stage in a bodybuilding competition?
Yes. So one of my many addictions, so I have been addicted to many things in my life, drugs, alcohol. Substance abuse was my friend for many, many, many years. But one of my many addictions was cardio exercise, so group exercise. So I was fueled by my obsession with my appearance and being skinny, as most of us women are. I was blessed to still be skinny always, but I was at the gym 4 or 5 times a week. So even though I might have been drunk and stoned most nights of the week, I would still drag my ass to the gym. So if you're going to jump up and down for 25 years without any other sort of training, your body is eventually going to say, no more of this. So at the age of 45, I got my first serious injury. So, and I'm not joking when I say that I was literally dragged by the hair by my physio into the weights room. I was an addict. So I had to lose this addiction and give up what was keeping me skinny. So I couldn't think of how else am I going to stay skinny if I can't jump up and down like a crazy woman. So cardio exercise was completely taken away from me. I had to find a different form of exercise to fuel my dependence on my appearance. So weightlifting weightlifting or swimming was the only options left for me. And then, of course, Jane think, oh, weightlifting is what fitness models do. So I do a bit of research. All of a sudden, I'm happy to let go of the cardio exercise because I'm going to become a fitness model. If I get to stage and get the perfect female form, surely, and this is the answer to all my misery, if I strut around on stage, then surely this will bring me my dream life that had eluded me up until then. I can't believe I ever thought that, but I'm sure I'm not alone. Many girls who decide to compete do it for the wrong reasons, for vanity.
Well, I think, Jane, that anyone who does exercise excessively or any of those things like that are doing it for completely wrong reasons.
Yes, too many of us women, and my latest blog post is exactly about this. Are you approaching fitness in an unhealthy way? Because, there's a difference of, doing exercise to be healthy, or is it because you are obsessed with being skinny and you will sacrifice your health to be skinny? And that was me. I didn't care how much I deprived my body. I was not eating much because I was obsessed about being skinny. But when you start doing bodybuilding, you can't do all of that anymore. You've got to give up the partying. You've got to give up the sleepless nights. You've got to give up the drugs and alcohol. You've got to eat every few hours. The bodybuilding lifestyle is very healthy. And I didn't understand it. I didn't care. All I wanted was the body. That was my sole purpose and mission, was to get that body, because then I'll finally be happy when I'm on stage in a bikini.
Wow.
So through my first comp prep, I was actually suicidal my first comp prep. Got to stage. I actually got a hypnotist. So I've always turned for support. 25 years, I was always engaging with professionals to help me because I knew there was something wrong with me. But this time I thought, right, I need a hypnotist. I need to be hypnotised, preferably on stage, because I was terrified. Here I am, I've tried to hide the real Jane for 25 yeed, and I go and commit to getting up on stage in a bikini.
I know, what the hell were you thinking?
I know, I can't believe it, but I'd gone too far down the path, and I'd engaged with professionals in the fitness industry. I'd reached a point of no return. I couldn't turn back. So I engaged with the hypnotist. And of course, hypnotism is meditation. They get you there through meditation. And I realised that I really didn't have the confidence. So I knew I had to work on confidence. So I started doing all these mind techniques to get the confidence to get up on stage. And I'd heard about all these mind techniques through the years because I had deviated from traditional therapy and gone to energetic healers and kinesiologists and different types of modalities to try and solve my depression. I'd heard about all this hooey crap that I really didn't think would help me. But here I was committing to get up on stage. I would do anything. So I started meditating. I started visualizations. I started affirmations. All this hooey stuff that I never believed in and thought was a load of crap. That I know I'm not alone in thinking that, but I was driven, but I had to get to stage. So little did I know that all these techniques were altering my mind, and that is the very core of depression. It's all in your mind. And if you can work on these techniques and gradually over a period of time, your mindset will change. So although it didn't happen for my first competition, I got to stage and then plummeted because, here I am with the body, so where's my dream life? So after the first competition, I was in a very bad place because, of course, it didn't solve all my misery. It actually made it worse. But I decided to compete again later that year. So I competed twice in 2013. So I had to continue all these mind practices. So again, driven by with the vanity to get to stage again, I continued on that journey. So these techniques, I've now done it for nearly 10 months. So you're changing habits, you're changing mindset. And I had no idea that I was resolving my depression. And it didn't happen straight away, and it certainly didn't happen after my second competition. It happened probably years after that. It wasn't until my 50th, which was 2016, I competed again. It's my third competition, so there was a 3-year gap. And I call those 3 years my recovery years. I celebrated my 50th on stage, and it was my declaration to the world. I am fully recovered. This journey has resolved my depression, and I have never been so happy before in my life. And I look back, and even during the 3 years, I couldn't tell you that I was recovering from depression, that I was working on it, that things were changing. I didn't even realise it. It wasn't until 2016, I was approaching my 50th, and I was determined to welcome my 50th in true new Jane fashion, because my 30th I was very depressed, my 40th I was suicidal, tried to take my life. And here I am on the brink of my 50th. I didn't even think I was going to be alive. And I love my life. What? Seriously? I can't even believe. I started doing hashtags on Instagram. I love my life. And when I realised I was doing it, I was like, oh my God, Jane, you're recovered. I couldn't believe it. So it's not like I was purposely going about trying to recover. It just happened so slowly, and over a period of 3 to 4 years. So yeah, my motivation was all wrong, but the outcome was obviously life-changing.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously that I'm going to do this now. It was a new, like you said, you're clearing those neuro pathways, aren't you?
Yes.
You're changing habits. You're doing these new things. And even though they probably sucked at first, they probably, over time, they just become
exactly
like brushing your teeth.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
And, yeah. My motivation was all wrong, and I really didn't enjoy it all, because, when you're doing all these techniques, one of the reasons why you resist, I think, when you're depressed is because it's too confronting. Depression, you're trying to avoid yourself. You're doing all you can to run away from you. So meditation was way too confronting. Why the hell would I want to sit in silence with myself? I'm the very person that I hate. So why would I put myself through that? So it's all about avoidance, which is the substance abuse as well. You're trying to avoid reality because you hate your reality. And doing all these techniques was bringing me into the present moment. It was bringing me back to me. And that's why my book is titled Finding Myself from the Outside In, because I found myself through getting the body, but getting to stage. If I hadn't decided to compete, I don't think I would have recovered, because it was the stage aspect that I was terrified of. And the posing on stage, Arnold Schwarzenegger always says that posing should be part of every gym session. It's so important. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. So I knew this. So that's one of the reasons I was so terrified, because it was so critical, the posing and being on stage, and the stage presence, the confidence on stage. And I didn't have any confidence. So all these mind techniques actually gave me the confidence, but not so much just for stage, but for life.
Wow. So, and then skipping forth to today, Jane.
Yes.
You are helping other women to understand that they too have control and they can change if they want to.
Absolutely. And I think we feel powerless. And because I was there, I was powerless the majority of my life. But we are in control, and we can make changes, and they're changes that you don't even realise. I certainly didn't realise what the answers were, even though I was being told what to do. You learn when you're ready, and you've got to be ready to hear. You've got to be ready for the journey. And if I can inspire women to even, try that little bit, because once you start and make it a habit, things change. And I think most of us, we're all schooled in being quick fixes. We're very impatient these days. Technology, everything's got to be quick. Nothing happens quickly with your mindset. It takes time, and I can reel off all these things that I have done, but you've got to bear in mind it's taken me 5 years. So when I'm coaching women today, it's just little habits every day, and you may not like it, and you may resist, and that's okay. You can sit with that resistance, But if you want change, and they're only small changes, you've got to do it slowly. You've got to drip feed very, very slowly.
Yeah, I think because there's this mindset out there that, like you said, Jane, everybody wants this quick fix, this one-hit wonder, this magic pill that's going to make them whatever they want to appear just like that. But it's taken years. I mean, it took you 40 years to get to that place where where something changed for you.
Yes.
And most of us are like that, I think. I know I was. But, you know, we forget that we've actually built up these habits over a lifetime, yet we want them to change instantly. And you're right, it does not happen like that. We need to give ourselves the grace and the patience to actually learn some new things.
And that's then another key message. It's about the journey. It's not about the end result. No, it's just about the little steps you make every day to achieve your goals. That's where you've got to find the pleasure. Because if you're all fixated on the end result, which is what I was, which most of us are, when you get there, it'll be a letdown. You've got to embrace the journey. And now, as I live a life of a bodybuilder, and I go through my bulk phases and my shredding phases, I'm at the peak of a shred phase at the moment, I just embrace the journey every day. Every day is just such a pleasure for me because I nearly deprived myself of life. Every day is so blissfully joyful for me, and I just embrace the journey. And the journey never stops. I think, you know, a lot of us think that when we finish school or university, we stop learning. You don't stop learning till the day you die. And you've got to keep on growing and developing. And now I'm self-aware. And I guess that's another component of depression and what women suffer from, was we're not very self-aware. When you are self-aware, you realise I've learnt and grown and developed even in the last year, even since I've declared myself recovered. So it's an ongoing journey, and it never stops. And it's something to be embraced, and it needs to be a source of happiness and joy, because life should be full of happiness and joy, always. Of course, you'll get dark times. There's always going to be, you know, things that happen that are out of your control that are going to affect you, but it's, you know, that's life, and you can't enjoy the pleasures of life if you haven't suffered pain. And I guess that's why I am in so much joy and happiness now, is because I was in misery for 25 years.
Yeah. And do you find, Jane, that when something does come up for you now, that you're more aware and your reaction to that is completely different?
Absolutely. So another thing that happened to me in 2016 was I've had I'm a bit of a crazy cat woman. I had a cat. I had a cat of 20 years, and you know, I was bracing for it. I knew it was coming, but you don't know when it's going to happen. And she hung on for so long. She was a full pedigree cat. So I put her down in April 2016. So just before my 50th, and as I was preparing for my competition. And this was an event that I'd been dreading for a very long time. And that was a huge test for me, because I live alone. Well, I lived with her. So that was going to be a huge test for me. Was I going to sink back into depression? But I didn't. I was very upset, obviously. But when I came through that, I was a bit shocked at how well I dealt with it.
Isn't that incredible to think?
I think now I have what I call a toolbox. So I don't meditate every day now. I don't do all these things every day now. I was, but now I'm in a better place. But when I get to a point where something like that trips me up, as life always does, you've got a toolbox of things to pull out, of things that can help you through. So, and I think that's another piece that the school system lets us down on, because death, divorce, heartache, all the things that we face in life, we're not given any skills to deal with those things. And that's life. You know, we're all going to suffer those things at some point. So to have that little toolbox of, daily practices that can help you through, I think is really critical. And that to me was a turning point. And that's when I realised, that I had recovered.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So Jane, what's been the reaction since you have been out there. And when people see this incredible woman, this strong woman, this incredibly attractive woman, what are people saying when they find out how old you are? And yeah.
Yeah, I get mixed reactions, and I'm still in a transition phase as far as, you know, people in my life that are no longer in my life.
We have to have a detox of everything, don't we, sometimes?
Yeah, look, and when you've behaved a certain way for 25 years and all of it, you know, it's not all of a sudden, but, you know, people aren't quite as accepting of this new empowered Jane who's...
Of course.
So I get a lot of reactions, some quite negative, but then I also get the positive ones as well. And I've had a bit of negative media lately as well, but I think that's just part of it. You know, again, you've got to just ride through it. But I've lost friends through the journey, in particular in the beginning of my bodybuilding journey, because here I am as a suicidal party girl, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm trying to... For a while there, I was being, you know, the fitness model for 7 days, healthy, and then I'd go out and get drunk and get home at 5 o'clock in the morning on cheat night, which was Saturday night. So I was being a bit critical. So all my party friends sort of, you know, I lost those. And look, that's life too. I think, you know, even if you have a baby or what, as your life changes, your friends change as well. But with me, because I was changing as a person rather than just my lifestyle, I've lost a few people, but I've also gained some beautiful people as well. But yeah, that has been challenging, particularly with family. Family really didn't support me through my journey. And as I said, because I've behaved a certain way for 25 years, and you know, I'm a completely different person these days, and I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. You know, you just can't take it too personally. Because I'm all about being me now, and you know, if people don't like it, well, move along, because there's always plenty of people out there that will like and love you for who you really are. Because you could always argue that they didn't really know the real Jane because I was too busy covering her up.
Yeah, it's incredible to think that people wouldn't want you to be this amazingly healthy, inspirational woman when you were at such a poignant time in your life. It's just, I can't get my head around it, but I know that that's how life is, and that's how it's supposed to be. Like you said, we shred the people in our lives when we go through a transition. Yes. And that's what's happened. And
I think also too, because it can be quite confronting for people that are not prepared, not ready to confront their own demons. My journey and story can be a little bit confronting for them because it's a little bit too close to home. They're not ready, and that's okay. I welcome them with open arms when they are ready. Even when my book was published, the reaction to that was quite interesting because again, it's confronting. I'm sharing all my demons, and I'm now, you know, bearing all my skeletons in my closet. But that doesn't mean that you have to. But it can hit sore points, particularly for women. It's just insecurities. That's all it is.
Yeah, it is. And it's this double-edged sword, isn't it, for women, particularly for women, because we see out there these images and we have these expectations either that we're conditioned to think or we've made up. Yeah. And we start to believe that we should be a particular way, and that might be completely different to who we really are. Yet we'll go out there and sacrifice that. And then I look at your picture, and you are stunning.
Oh, thanks. but again,
from the inside out, you know, yes. It's just this full package.
But because people look at that image and think, well, because you look like that, well, life's a dream. And again, that's the pressure I put on myself. I'm slim, blonde and attractive. So where's my dream life? So that made I put more pressure on myself because everyone was telling me, even in my darkest hour, Jane, you're so beautiful. You've got everything going for you. Really?
Yeah.
That's the answer to a dream life. So there must be seriously something wrong with me because I'm miserable. So people look at that image and think, well, you have everything you want in life because you look like that. That is so not the case. It's what you see on the outside is nothing. But we have this, we look at the beautiful women in the media and, well, they have everything, don't they? Because they look the way they do. And I guess that's another one of my messages, that just because you're attractive doesn't mean anything. I'm just like any other person. And I certainly don't look like that all the time. When I look at my photo shoots and the preparation, it's a 4 or 5 month preparation to get to that photo shoot. So you're looking at an image of a snapshot in time that I've taken 5 months to prepare. I don't look like that all the time.
Oh, come on, Jane, what do you mean? You don't wake up and, hop out of bed looking like that?
But we have this misconception, and us women, we're all pretty much the same. We look at it and think, oh, wow, I want to look like that, and then, everything will be rosy. But it's not. And so I think a lot of really attractive women actually have suffered like I have, because we put extra pressure on ourselves because we have the socially glorified exterior.
Mm. It's so good to hear you talk about this, because I think it is such a powerful message, especially coming from you when you are out there in the media. And I think that we need to hear this from women like you, that it's not what you see that matters. It's only part of it. Yes. And that's why I love the title of your book, though, too. It just it contradicts what the contradiction said. So,
absolutely, because
it's great.
It's an inside job, isn't it? But that's not what most of us women believe. We think that if we get the perfect exterior, that'll bring us happiness. But it is an inside job. But I just figured it out the wrong way around.
And I love that. It's because you moved towards something else, and that was what was driving you, and you used that to flip it around. It's brilliant.
And I guess that's another key component of my journey. Now that I love myself and my body, I actually got to keep the body. So you actually get the body, and you keep it, provided you do the inner work.
Yeah.
If you don't, then the chances are you could lose the body. But because I have such a blessed life now, I've still got the body. So that's exciting.
Like I said, you're the full package, Jane. People are lucky to actually be able to listen to you today, I think. I think that this is such a powerful message. I
feel incredibly lucky. I feel incredibly blessed to be given this journey. I really do. Like, I can't believe, I look at myself in the mirror, and it's particularly at the moment because I'm 12 days out from my next photo shoot. So I catch myself in the mirror at the gym, and I can't believe it's me. I really can't.
So you see yourself through true eyes rather than this.
But I'm seeing myself for the first time, though, Leanne. I think that's the thing.
Wow.
So that's why I feel reborn, I think, and I'm determined to make the rest of my life the best of my life. And I'm only 51. And I think too many of us, we're conditioned by, things deteriorate at 30, 40, 50, or life's over at 50. God, my life's just beginning. Age is a mindset. That's another one of my taglines. Age seriously is a mindset. I don't see myself as a 51-year-old woman. I still feel like I'm 30. I still act like I'm 30, but I've got the wisdom of a 50-year-old now. So I feel like I'm in the perfect place in life. But I'll continue this lifestyle and bodybuilding for the rest of my life. Like, that's another thing I'm determined to do. I will lift until the day I die, because lifting is my passion. And it has been the main core of my recovery is weightlifting, bodybuilding, which is very ironic.
Can you answer for us, what does it mean to live life on your terms?
For me, living life on my terms is being true to me, being myself. I think when you've been an actress, a very, very good actress for 25 years, and you've hidden the real person underneath, to me, it's being unapologetically me. That's living life on your own terms. And people are like, that you're always going to get people love you or people hate you. That's fine. But I'm happy within me. That to me is life. That is happiness.
Yeah. And if you could share 3 pieces of wisdom with us today, what would those 3 pieces of wisdom be?
I think number 1 is passion. life is meant to be lived with passion and purpose. And that was, there's many factors to my recovery, but if I have to pick one, it is I found my passion in life. And if you don't know what it is, keep looking. Hire a coach to help you find it, because we all have something that sets our soul on fire. And it doesn't need to be a profession. It doesn't need to be a career. If it's just a hobby, it doesn't matter. Once you do what sets your soul on fire, the rest of your life will fall into place. Passion to me is number one. Number two is health and fitness. You just simply cannot go wrong with making your health a priority. Another major factor in my recovery is, I was undernourished and underweight for the majority of my life. And another reason why I managed to turn my life around is because I started nourishing my body with premium fuel, and it changes your mindset. So health and fitness is now the core of my life, and you just can't go wrong with health and fitness. I think the third one I'm going to have to, because there are many.
You've got a whole book of them.
Yeah, I think the third one for me, when I look back on my journey, is getting the right mentors and coaches around you. I've spent 25 years in and out of traditional therapy with psychiatrists, psychologists, psychoanalysts, counsellors, you name it. And to me, that form of therapy is not a positive experience. It's all about rehashing the past and your past pain, whereas a mentor and coach moves you forward in life. It's a positive and uplifting experience. So I wouldn't have got to where I am today without the coaches and mentors that I've had along my journey, and there's been many. But to me, to have that, I will always pay a coach. I have 3 professionals in my pro team at the moment. I can't achieve my goals and dreams without them. I don't do this alone. I have support around me, and I don't have much personal support, but I have the best paid support around me, and they realise my dreams. They support me and believe in my journey as much as I do, and that's critical to me. And it doesn't matter what you want to achieve in life. I think any successful person has a coach or many people around them supporting them. So I think that's the key. That would be number 3 for me.
Couldn't agree more. I think that's so important. Jane, thank you so much for joining us today. I could talk to you forever, but
you're very welcome. I'm honored and humbled to be interviewed. I can't tell you how this, only 5 years ago I was a suicidal drunken party girl, and here I am being interviewed. It's surreal. It's surreal. So thank you. I'm very honoured.
Thank you, Jane. And tell us again where we can find your book. So if anyone wants to find out more about you, we'll put links below. If people are on our website here at standoutwoman.me, you can find Jane. But tell us, Jane, can we find it on Amazon?
Yes, it's on Amazon, or you can go to my website, janecurnow.com. And I'm on all social media platforms. I post every day about my journey. So yeah, please follow me and see what my next in store with what I'm up to. I'm all over the internet at the moment.
Well, we'll be watching you, Jane. Don't you worry. You've got our support now.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Leanne. I really enjoyed speaking with you.
Thanks, Jane.
Wow. What did you think of this episode with Jane? I am in awe of her story, and I don't believe that I've ever spoken to anyone who has made such an incredible transformation in their life. Were there parts of this episode that really resonated for you or that shifted something inside of you? I'd love to read your comment, and you can put them below if you're on our website at standoutwoman.me. And while you're there, be sure to sign up so that I can send you each new episode direct to your inbox each week. And if you've got a friend that you think would benefit from this episode, then please send it on to them. Or they can find Standout Radio on iTunes or Stitcher. Until next week, have a fantastic week. See you then.